Okay, guys, I had to put out this very, very important video. This is the kind of stuff that we hear when the market is starting to get euphoric. All right, we start to see videos like this, people saying God's warning. So I'll play what this guy was saying. I have nothing against this guy, but it's just we're seeing things. We're seeing price targets that are getting a little out of hand. People are calling for 1,500 XRP price. People are calling for $750 XRP. They're saying buy. We're just getting started. Once the lawsuit just ended, we're just going to keep going up and up and up. All these things, and people are saying, they're hearing God speaking to them. I mean, maybe there's some truth to it, but we have to watch out for what we're hearing out there, guys, because when things get crazy euphoric, that's when we want to start getting a little bit more concerned, or a lot more concerned. All right, so let me just play this video clip here. Nothing against this guy. I don't know him personally. I just am concerned when we start to hear more and more of this kind of stuff. So let's dive into what he was saying here.
Because tomorrow we're talking about wealth. You guys know, side point, Jake Claver, he's talked about XRP potentially being at over $1,500 by January 1st of 2026 and at $750 before the end of the year because of how the reverse carry trade can carry out.
All right, so this is what he was saying in the video. This guy at Trade Confident. So once again, I don't know him, but we have to be careful, guys, because let's look at the numbers. Let's look at real math. Let's actually start to be logical here. I'm all about spirituality, and I'm all about listening to God. But when we start to get things that start to sound a little too crazy, we got to talk about it. All right, so I asked ChatGPT, so let's take a look here. If we had, a price of 1,500 XRP, here's the calculations, and you guys can type this in for yourself. The market cap equals the price of the Crypto Astro asset times the circulating supply. So the price target $1,500 for XRP. We gotta go to the crypto market cap here. So we type in XRP and we look at the circulating supply. So the circulating supply, circulating supply is $59.3 billion. That's the amount of XRP that is actually circulating in the market. All right, so we go back here, we plug that in. So the market cap equals 1,500, that's the price we're talking about today, times 59.3 billion. That would mean XRP would need to have a market cap of $88.95 trillion apparently by by January of next year, to be able to reach this price of $1,500, this price target here. Okay, what would that mean, guys? Well, that would mean that XRP would 68 times Bitcoin. So that would mean that XRP would surpass the market cap of Bitcoin by 68 times. And that's within like what, 5 months or so. Okay, that would require XRP to 5x the market cap of gold, and it would have to 3x the total United States GDP, and it would be then 81% of all stocks, and it would be 27% of all real estate in the world, and it would be 81% of the world GDP. So if you think XRP will get to 81% of the world GDP in the next 5 months, I don't know what to tell you, but good luck with that, if that's what you really want to believe. So is it possible? I would say no, guys. Just got to say it, okay? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. It's great to be euphoric. It's exciting. It's wonderful to be optimistic, but is it actually for our own good? Because if we really think it's going that high, then we're never going to take profits. And what happened in previous runs? previous bull runs. Let's take a look and say, so, well, this is the epic run that we're in right now. Previous bull runs, what happened? You know, XRP broke out, then the SEC got sued, Ripple got a massive dump. And then we went up, we were going to, let's see, 1.73. People were thinking, never sell XRP. It's just going to go to the moon. You know, we're just getting started. XRP, you know, still hasn't, for some reason this isn't loading. Let's see. People were saying, you know, XRP still hasn't gotten its new all-time high, so I'm just going to hold. That's what people were saying right here at the top. And what happened? Let's zoom in. As everybody was screaming, don't sell. Even I remember when XRP went down to $1, people were saying, I'm buying hard here. I'm putting, you know, I'm buying with, you know, all my cash here at $1. And then what happened? Falls off a cliff. XRP goes down all the way to 28 cents. Okay, this is what happens, guys. This is what's happened every single time in every single bull run. And you know what happened back here? I mean, this is the craziest run we've ever seen in crypto. One of the craziest, if not the craziest run we've seen. XRP went from, you know, 0.005 to, you know, 40 cents within like, what, like a couple months here? That's crazy. And then it was accumulating, and then we had one final run. So this kind of looks similar to where we're at right now. I mean, potentially. You know, it's been accumulating for months, and then it makes a final run up. And then what happens after that, guys? Boom, bear market. All right, and I know nobody wants to hear us. No one wants to talk about the bear market, but guys, it's coming. Another bear market is coming. I don't know if it's next year. I don't know if it's the year after, but it's coming. It will come. We will get a massive recession. We need a global monetary reset. It's just how the markets work. And if you don't want to believe that, then I feel sorry for you because you're probably going to lose a lot of money. So let's talk about it. So, you know, we're in this long consolidation here. We just broke out. Good. I mean, very exciting, very good. XRP is looking very strong. So I don't want to be negative, and I'll be coming out with a lot more positive videos. So, I mean, it's not to say that we're not going further up. It's just to say, I don't think we're going to get it, you know, 3,000% like increase from here. Okay. We got to be a little bit more realistic, a little bit less crazy. Hopefully that doesn't hurt your feelings, but you know, we don't want to be extremely euphoric at the market peak, just like we did in the past bull run and the bull run before that. Now let's discuss a little bit further. We've also heard, you know, that it could be 750 by the year's end. Well, in that case, you know, let's crunch the numbers. That would bring that would be a 44 trillion market cap for XRP. In order to do that, I mean, compared to Bitcoin at 1.3 trillion, well, let's see where Bitcoin is. What's the market cap? Oh, it's 2.3. I don't know why. So AI got that totally wrong. Bitcoin's at 2.3, but still that would be what, like a 20x above Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, which has been the top dog for over 15 years, and people are saying XRP is just going to 22x Bitcoin overnight, you know, within a very, very short time span of a few months. Do you really think that? Do you really think that's going to happen? Then we have gold. I mean, XRP would have to, you know, double and almost triple the, you know, one of the biggest assets that the world has ever seen, gold. Do you really think it's going to do that in a few months? It would be half of the entire global stock market in order to do that. All right. So that's just kind of what we're looking at here. Is it possible? It would have to capture a massive share of global liquidity, basically becoming the single dominant settlement layer for the most of the world's cross-border payments, replacing large chunks of the SWIFT network and possibly absorbing parts of the bond FX. So, I mean, hypothetically, I guess it's possible, but do you really want to bet all your money on that, all your hard-earned money? I'm not saying we're not going to see a massive run up, because we totally could, and we're going to be looking at other price targets, more realistic price targets here in a moment, and you can make tremendous amount of money. All right, you can generate a tremendous amount of wealth. But, you know, we're looking at the comparisons here. No cryptocurrency has ever reached even 5 trillion, let alone 44 trillion. Okay, so I mean, even 5 trillion would be absolutely mind-blowing, melting faces, phenomenal. And that's not even close to 44 trillion. So, I mean, even Bitcoin, the most recognized and most global adoption of scarcity, has topped out so far around, well, this is actually wrong, 2.3 trillion. So $750 XRP would require both unprecedented adoption and market repricing of digital assets, far beyond anything we've ever seen. All right, so that's just what I wanted to come on here and say. So be careful for all these videos saying that God spoke to them and said that we're going to 1500 XRP. I mean, maybe that will happen. Maybe it will happen, but I don't think it's going to happen in the next 5 months. Maybe it will take a bit longer than that. You know, maybe we're talking about decades. All right, so let's look at more realistic what we could be looking at. So here's how we do it. We go to the XRP chart, and what we can do is we look at, because we can even see, so we take a Fibonacci level. So once again, we're on the market cap of XRP chart. This is not the price chart, okay? So you look to the right, we have the market cap. Right now we're at 194 billion. And the reason we want to do this is because this takes out the effects of these the inflation, basically, the circulating supply. So this is the market cap. And because if we just look at the price chart, there's lots of inflation. So the price chart will look a little bit different. You know, I mean, it looks almost the same, but it's a little bit different. This is a more accurate way to do it. So we take a Fibonacci line from the peak of, let's zoom in here, from the peak of January 2025 to the low of April 2025. And then we run some Fibonacci lines and we look at, let's see if I can get this. So we look at the 4.236, and that's arguably, you know, usually the top of what most cryptos do. Now, it could go above it, but that's at looks like 525 billion. So we can plug that into our equation and figure out what price that would be. So let's just take that 500. I like to go a little below it, so I would just say 520 billion, because if we want to take profits, you don't want to miss the boat. I mean, if you just miss it by barely, then you've missed the opportunity to take profits. Because I mean, if you look back all the way back here, you know, if you wanted to take profits at the peak, but your sell order was right above the peak, then you're going to fall all the way back down and miss your opportunity to take profits. So I like to, you know, go a little bit below. Not get too crazy, not get too greedy. I want to have healthy greed, not absorbent greed. All right, so let's just say 520. 520 billion. So we could plug that into you know, a calculator, or we could plug it into AI. If XRP market cap reaches 520 billion, then what price would it be with circulating supply of, what was it? I think we were at 59.3 billion circulating supply. Now, the circulating supply will actually change a little bit over time because there's a lot of inflation with XRP. So this actually isn't 100% accurate. We'll have to continue this calculation as the circulating supply oscillates up and down. So that would bring us a price of 8.76. So $8.76 for XRP. All right. If we get to 520 billion. We get a price of $8.76 for XRP. Hey guys, that's not bad. It's not bad. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that that's the market peak, but that's my target. And of course, it could do more or less than that, and we will see. I mean, if it does go to $20, like a lot of people are calling for, that's great. But we'll have to see. There's always a chance that it doesn't. We looked at the last cycle. Well, let's compare it. I know everyone wants to compare it to the 2017 cycle. And in that case, it did actually absolutely explode and melt faces. And I know a lot of people are expecting it to do the same, but we want to be careful. We don't always want to expect that it's going to do the exact same that it did in this cycle. But it did, if we take a Fibonacci line here from the peak of May 2017 to July 17, it did go above the 4.236 extension. It went a bit above it, so it's certainly possible. Maybe it gets to $11 or something. That's great, but I personally, I'd rather be a bit more on the safe side, and I'd be okay, like selling around here or whatever, selling around $8, selling around $6, and missing up on this extra upside. I mean, I'm okay with that, as long as I don't have to get caught, holding in this freaking bear market again. Just don't want to do that again. That's just my choice, my decision. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, this is another really, really, really important, interesting thing, is looking at the time scale. I want to know how long this run could last. So historically, when we broke out in 2017, let's zoom in. When we broke out in 2017, I might even say right here. We broke out arguably in March 2017. And we went, all the way through here, and we already hit the market peak after 287 days. That's 41 weeks. All right, so let's look at where we're at now. We broke out right here. And if we go 41 weeks, oh boy, guys, that only gives us till August 18th. That's wild. Wild, wild, wild. Let's go to the last cycle. I know it's crazy. So that would bring us a peak 9 days from now. All right, stay with me. So last cycle we broke out around here, November 9th, and we peaked very quick. Within 22 bars, that's 22 weeks. So I don't think that's definitely not the case, because that would only bring us to, we already passed that date and we're already sitting above that. So that's not likely to happen. So that's fascinating. So that would bring us to August 18th, comparing to previous cycles, man. So if we get a just insane breakout in the next 9 days, I would be probably taking profits. But we could also look at it a different way. If we look at the all-time low in June 2014, and then we took it all the way out to the peak of 2018, that was 183 bars. Now, if we do the same thing here, we got to this low in June 2022, and we take it out 183 days, that would bring us to December 15th. Okay, so in that case, there is a possibility we continue to December 15th. But I thought that was really interesting that, we could be, in this month or in the next few months in quarter 4 of this year, we could get the all-time high for XRP in the market peak. So really interesting. Another thing there is we still haven't broken out this major level of XRP versus Bitcoin. If we're able to break above this white line, that would be extremely bullish. The last time we did it was 2017, and we got that extremely massive run, one of the biggest crypto runs we've ever seen. So if we break above that white line, that's going to be, we still have work to do. We still need to see this break through. That would be extremely bullish if that's the case. Really quick, XRP astrology. We're not seeing any like major signs that are, it's definitely not obvious this time, but interesting. We said the August 18th date, Jupiter is sextiling the XRP Mars, which is very positive. So we could get potentially a local peak or an all-time high or a breakout around that time. So that is looking really good. And also we get a peak indicator on September 7th. Now, this is right the day before the total lunar eclipse, and the total lunar eclipse is very concerning, but it is possible that we get a peak right before it. I mean, the reason I'm so concerned for the total lunar eclipse is the total lunar eclipse is signified by these blue lines here. And every time we've gotten these blue lines, we get a major dump. This is Ethereum. We get these blue lines, we get a big dump historically. All right, look at this. 3 blue lines, we get massive bear market. All right, so that's why, the total lunar eclipse is very concerning. But the fascinating thing is we're getting one of the bullish moves we've ever seen for Ethereum heading into this total lunar eclipse. So either we get to all-time highs by then, or I think we get a local peak before this total lunar eclipse. But man, we're really heading into this total lunar eclipse. So that's good. I like that for the bulls. But that's why if XRP does get a big breakout, I'll probably be taking profits, because that September 8th total lunar eclipse is a concern. And I think it'll either be the end of the bull market, which I don't think that's the case, or we just get a dump in another big correction in September, which would line up extremely well with what we're seeing. This is Jason. Really like what they're doing. Jason Pizzino. So this is let me make sure that's visible. This is the S&P 500 20-year averages, and this shows a correction, a healthy correction, which we've seen, for the S&P 500 20-year averages. Typically, we get a big correction in September, but look what happens after that, a big move up. So could XRP continue? Maybe we get a correction end of August or September, and then could we head up big time into Q4? Or are we heading into a potential peak, potential all-time high this month, and that's the end of the bull run? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I posted 2 videos today. I feel like I needed to do it. And let's see if we have any comments, y'all. Bitcoin hit $1,000 after it was a single digit. I'm just taking a ride on the surf. Yeah, it's definitely time to go for a ride, especially with Ethereum right now. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.